I am Sergia Louise. So happy to have you guys here. We're going to talk to Marion Crampe this morning. Super excited for this Instagram live. For those of you guys who are pollers, you most likely know her. She is our pole fairy, and she's been in the community for a really long time. So I'm really excited to chat with her and excited to catch up with her. If you are just finding the pole world now and you are interested in getting started in pole dancing, head over to my personal page at Sergia Louise. I have a free training for you guys over there. So I'm just going to wait for Marion to go ahead and request to join, and we will get started. We're going to be talking about pole today, how it's different from when Marion first started, what she's up to these days, and here she is coming on right now in Spain, I believe. So, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello.
It's so good to see you.
I'm good. Oh my God, that's a long time.
It's been a long time. It's really wonderful to see you. How come every time we see each other, I start to tear up? It's so wonderful to see
Actually, I have exactly the... Wow.
Marion and I have been in the pole world a long time together and have had a lot of wonderful experience in the pole world together. And, you know, obviously these last few years, none of us have really had the chance to travel as much and be a part of the community maybe as much as we want to with everything with the pandemic. So this is a very special moment, and I'm so happy to connect with you, Marion.
So much. Oh, I'm
So
a
what's
bit
new
like,
with
I don't have words so much because I wish just to hug you like, but it's amazing already. We can talk and we can connect here, and thanks to Lupit for all these things they're doing, and I think it's magical. Really, it's super nice, and thank you for taking the time for interviewing all those people and making those talks. I think it makes a difference. Really, it's nice. Just to even not
it's
say
been so
anything, it's nice. It feels so good. Ah.
true. I feel Lupit asked me to start doing these interviews. I was just like, oh my gosh, yes, I can't wait to just connect with people with these similar interests and the similar love and be able to talk to so many of my friends that I haven't chatted to in so long. So it's just actually an opportunity, and just to be able to catch up with everyone and learn some new things myself. And what have you been up to, my dear? What's new in the world of Marion, and where are you?
So welcome to my a piece of my home, and where I have been home. Of course, like since a few years, but I think, yes, life has changed, but life changed all the time. Even before it was changing, it's just changed a bit more drastically than before and a bit faster. But if you reflect a bit and you take the time to reflect, it always been different. Like every year, especially like the life we used to have a few years ago when we were never going to the same country every year, every even month, every even week. So it was changing all the time. And so I just adapt with the cards that I was given, which is, okay, you're gonna stay home, you're gonna spend more time with your husband, which is amazing. He discovered he has a person living with him. He was like, there's somebody in my bed every day. And but it's magical. We're having such a good time. It's pretty cool. And I'm teaching online, which I adore. I made friends that probably I will never made before. And like what I realize is during the time when I was teaching workshops, maybe I see people once, and maybe I would see them again, maybe not. And Now I see people since 3 years almost every week, even twice a week sometimes, and we know pretty much everything about each other. And it's a different relationship, it's a different thing. So for example, for me, online is not less or different, it's completely another story, you know. So it's almost impossible to compare with like the like live presential. And I think it's something really cool, I really like it. And now softly it kind of give a balance of we can go back to do some little things face to face, but I definitely stick to online, because there is people where they are in the world, they cannot have access, or the way they work or the way the life is built, it really actually makes sense for them to go like this. And so it is, so we keep going, and I'm so grateful. Yeah.
How wonderful the difference of having that nomadic life, and as you're saying, you know, maybe seeing people again, but really just all over, jet setting all over the place, and now you get to see someone's actual growth over time,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
being that relationship. Where can we take your class online?
So mostly I teach private classes, because in the terms more, I don't know actually why I did some group classes, especially I work with Indie, which I adore to work with them. It's an amazing team of people, and we have built some mentorships, which were going on like a several week, where it was kind of like, I don't know, an evolving group. It was beautiful. We did it twice, and it was an amazing journey. And I connected to amazing souls that they are still together, and the group is still, those groups are still alive in the social, like we have on groups on WhatsApp or Telegram, whatever. And we still exchange stuff, even though the mentorships are finished. So that was an amazing time. Although online, I must say I stick mostly to one-to-one lesson. So it's just like people just have to reach me on my email. Normally I go month by month, because I also choose to not be overwhelmed by too many classes. For example, at the beginning of this life experience, I would say we call it like this, I was like, oh my God, like I was taking everyone, and I got a bit overburned by this. And I was like, no, no, no. Very quick, I was like, look, I need time for myself. I need time for training. I need time to do nothing. I need time for myself, and I need time for the people that I really gonna dedicate time. I need time for them. So for example, if some people are a teacher, I teach normally 2 classes per day, maximum 3. Like this, I have time to do my other things. I also do like administration stuff and responding emails, also time to read, to cook. I really take this time to reconnect. I was already connected to myself, but even more, I think, like it is a beautiful time to, yeah, to take the time, actually. I think we always had time. You know, I heard a lot of people say, oh, now I have more time. Actually, no, you have the same amount of time. It was not like, okay, dear COVID came with a bag of time for everyone. No, actually, we had the same amount of time. It just made us realize that, wow, actually, you're here. Time. Yes, I am. I always been there, but you never saw me before, or you were passing too fast that you didn't see I was here waiting for you. So I just embrace this. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah, and would you say, you know, for you, as things maybe start to change moving forward, or maybe not change, like what do you foresee for yourself going forward?
Yeah. You know, what I think I realized through the years, and this is of course through the years, and I think it's good to go through different stages of your life. So I'm almost 39 now. And what I realize now, for what I want, is just to feel fulfilled with what I do. It doesn't have to be magnificently famous or big or like on all the platform or whatever. It just has to fulfill me. So small things fulfill me, and other, like, of course I'm happy when like I can collaborate with amazing people, and but those people don't have to be mainstream, like any kind. And to see the sacred in small thingies, you know, this is really like what moved me now. And I don't say that before it was the same. It's just where I am now is this. And so forward, I'm ready for what is come. I'm also evolving in my journey. So I'm studying a new chapter of my life. So I'm in the hypnotherapy course. So I'm almost at the like last part of it. So it's an absolutely magical journey where I learn, first of all, a lot about myself. And very often, you know, when I go to class and you ask questions, and then the teacher give you some little thing, and you're like, okay, I got the message. That was a question for my own self. That was not a question for like the class. And it's pretty like freaking amazing. Every time I go, I'm so excited. And every time I'm excited, at the same time, I'm like, whew, what I'm gonna have to work on myself to be a better after therapist. And a lot every time. It's pretty like, well, it's a fantastic journey. Yeah.
Wow. How did you end up finding that, and how recent has that been for you?
So I think this is just it seems and it feels completely like a logical path in my journey. I'm in my spiritual, in my like physical journey. I'm very interested about the human, and I work a lot. I think when we do classes, we don't only teaching techniques. At least I don't feel I'm only sharing a technique. There is a connection with another person, with a lot of other person, and I think we impact each other in a way bigger level than just the physical. And so I wanted to understand a bit more this, and if possible also to help to guide better. And so yeah, it just makes sense. It started with hypnosis, and I think it's not going to stop there, because I'm interested to learn more. I'm listening a lot of podcasts, and I'm very, very curious to discover what is beyond the physical, what is about the spiritual, the mind, and it's so much bigger than us. And yeah, I think it's an infinite learning process, and I'm so curious. I'm definitely a seeker for sure, for knowing a
That's
bit
so
more
cool. And
and better.
yes, and you were talked a little bit about how it kind of relates to you and your teaching journey and relating to other people. How else has that made its way into maybe your art life and your personal practice?
Mm-hmm. So this is a very good question. I feel in my personal practice, for instance, I think I always felt this deep inside, but I couldn't really explain to myself, first of all. And so I think to vibrate it outside. It was there, people kind of feel it, me too. But right now, I am when I move, whatever I do, when I bend, when I pull, especially when I pull my, I have goosebumps just to think about it. I adore Paul like more than ever right now after almost 15 years. And now even more when I do things, I think I put more sacred in what I'm doing and more intention. Like we were having a talk with my friend Mityev Type, with one day I hope you can interview, because he's an amazing being that I think everybody would love to receive from. And we were talking about that, and we were saying, yeah, when we do, more than ever, we do with intention. It doesn't matter what we do. It can just be this. It can just be this, but you do it with intention, and it tastes so much better. I don't know, but to me, it tastes much better. And so I try to share that with others. You know, I was in Ukraine the other day, finally teaching workshops again with people, and we did that. You know, and of course, like culture are different, but at the end of the day, it's a language that speaks to everyone. It takes different time to enter it, but it's a language that speaks to everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's so true. It's so often, it's, you know, it's so funny. So many times in teaching pole in the past, you know, I would have kind of, you know, if someone would ask me about it, they say, well, you teach pole. And I'd be like, yeah, I do. And it's so much more to me than that. You know what I mean? There's with the connection, performance and storytelling and holding space for stories to be told and allowing the kindness to open up what's already there for everybody. You know, I'm not coming in and creating something out of, you know, nothing. Like everyone,
Exactly.
when they come, yeah, it's they've had it within them the whole time. Perhaps they today was the day that they got that little extra bit of permission, you know, to embody that side of themselves. So yeah, it's interesting. And, you know, I've had, you know, and before pole, you know, I would have kind of, you know, artist friends who would ask me sometimes about pole, and they would say, so you teach pole now? And I'd be like, yeah, but no.
It's not only this, it's I think it's like, you know, that's what we learn a bit as like in the hypnosis course. You're not the one that create the thing. You just you're a facilitator. You're like guiding. Of course, you're part of the experience. You're part. Your channel or whatever it's called. But it of course we're part of the experience. And when I finish even my classes, like even today, I teach 3 classes, and like every time I'm like, oh, I'm so, because it's a win to win, you know, it's an exchange. The other one is channeling for you too. So, and I would even go further when we do workshops for other people, even the studio organizer, the people that bring us to those places, that bring the students to there, they're also the facilitator of this. So yeah, look, people from India that I connect during this time. Hello, my friend. Yes, like you know, like it's and now like platform like this one, or like Skype or whatever, like to not give names, they're also facilitating this connection. Yeah.
Yeah, I know how lucky that even when, you know, everything happened, you know, a few years ago, that at least we were able to reach out to each other in different ways and find new ways to connect and create a whole new culture of connecting. You know, people and
yeah, I think if I can add something, sorry to interrupt you, but I think, because I observe many different communities, and I must say and I know from other people outside of the pole community, there's something that I remember forever. One day, and Mary asked at the Pole Expo, what is the most important for you in pole? And I don't know if you remember, but most of the people answer the community. And this is again proved with this situation we have in the world, that pole community was like, okay, you make us this, no problem. We move on. We create content. We share online. We create like mentorship. We move the world. Like we do shows online. It's not like, okay, fuck, what are we gonna do? No. People are like, okay, bim bam boom. We're gonna get together and we're gonna make things happen. And doesn't matter. It doesn't stop us. People train like probably never they trained before. Some they were burned out of training, but like people bought a pole and put in their home. And I even saw from the circus community how many circus people bought a pole because they were like, fuck, seems like you can keep on going if you got a pole at home. I share classes with many people from the circus industry that they were like, look, my friend, I think I gotta go in the pole because this is something I do at home. It looks fun, and fuck yeah. So big up for the pole community for sure.
Yeah, that is cool. What a beautiful observation. That pole tends to be one of those apparatus that you can make work at home. If you really want to make it work, you can make it work. And there's not a lot of apparatus that are like that. So yeah, pole is that just like that you can make sure that you have if everything else is taken away. So actually, that's just such a great point. What do you have to say to people? Because I know I experienced a little bit of this myself. Right at the beginning of the pandemic, I went crazy trying to kind of save my studio and really did a ton of teaching online, burnt myself out, and then kind of fell off for a little bit when I realized the pandemic was going to be going on for a long time. And, life, mom life, and all just craziness. But for the people who felt like, or who feeling now, I know that, and I've spoken to a lot of people who have this sentiment right now, where they feel like they've fallen off, they haven't been able to do their training, life has happened, their life is taking a different direction, they really miss pole, they don't know if they're ever going to have their community back, they feel behind. What would you say to the people who are like, kind of like, oh, I feel like I've lost so much, I don't know if I want to start back and try to find my way back to where I was, if that's even a thing? I don't know, what advice would you just give to people who are dealing with the changes and maybe feeling like a big burden, a big stress about coming back to it?
First of all, I think each experience is very different, depends where you are, what is your life situation. So it's very difficult to make something like, I think it takes one-to-one person and in their situation, in their way of being, way of seeing the reality and everything. Of course, you can say, yeah, happy flower, see the time that you have, you can meditate forever, and then you feel okay. No, sometimes it's like, fuck no, it doesn't work, my friend. So I would talk in a personal position, and maybe it can inspire somebody else, but I prefer I think because I cannot be someone else than myself, okay? Because what we are and you are experiencing in a different way, but we are also all this time is going, and maybe you have shows opportunities going away and etc. And we also aging. Of course, we're not old, but for artists to be on stage, it's also time passing by. But at the same time, I like to think somebody said that the other day, and I really like it. He say, when you play cards, you can bluff, but you cannot change the card. So you're gonna have to play with your cards. So first of all, what I try to remind myself is what I was yesterday, I will never be again, because it was yesterday. So our friends Alethea says, push past. It's there. You don't have to forget it, but it's past. Okay? Just be grateful, or whatever you want, you have to be for it happens, you know? I remember also Kirsty, you remember this pole dancer that left us? She has a disease, and she was an amazing, amazing soul. And I went to visit her in the hospital just a week before she became a real fairy. And I remember she said to her mom, was with us, and she said to her mom that was really, really, really lost. She said, "Mom, smile because it happened. Don't cry because it's over." And I always stick to this. And I even keep her message because we were texting, because she was an example of like, it will never be like tomorrow. Actually, for her, it was clear and a fact. It will never be a tomorrow. But what happened, it was amazing. And she, even when in the pain, in the difficulties, she always find light. This girl was fucking amazing. And there is so many people out there. So I try to remind myself like, okay, yes, I have been traveling the world. I have friends everywhere that I don't know if I'm going to hug them again soon. But fuck, I hug them. You know, I can say I have Shimi in Australia. I don't know when the fuck I'm going to see her baby before I don't know if I've ever seen her in this lifetime. But, you know, I can say I have been to Australia even 4 times. Who can say that? Not everybody. It's amazing, you know? So, of course, nostalgia is there. And I wish to go to the studio and train, but no, I have to stay here. So sometimes fucking smash my walls and and kick the plants, and because I don't have enough space. And I wish to have a beautiful studio where I can go and have space, but no. Today the cards that I have is like, you're gonna try on your pole stage. Be lucky you have a place where you can train at least, and that's it. Play with the cards that you have. So I think it's more to embrace and to see the beauty in small petite things. Like, you cannot train today, or like, I don't know, you have a pain, or your body is, it's like, for some people, you know, they got injury or burnout. Listen, why are you getting burnout? Because maybe there is something that it's not working for you at that moment. And maybe the pattern that you are trying to stick to is not working anymore. You know, I love my an amazing teacher, by the way. If people want to take class of him, is called Ilan Rivière. He's an amazing mover, and he always think, okay, you get the pattern, now play outside of the pattern. I adore this, because I took some classes. I know Marlo take class with him, and also Tracy Kaffer. And I recommend, it's amazing. Even if you're not a wonderful dancer, which, hello, I don't know the technique, but I love his class, because he gives you the pattern and then you play around the patterns and you feel divine. So structure is amazing. Like, coming from one of the most loving structure person I am. I have discipline tattoo in Mongolian in my back. So yes, I love structure. But I like to say, I have a discipline is the base of my freedom, but it's supple. So it flex with me, and I adapt to what it is. Okay, Marion, we're gonna do this. Actually, no, it doesn't work. Vale, no problem. We're gonna shift to something else. Like, you decide to have a baby. You cannot do whatever you cannot train whenever you want. But you have a baby. Not everybody has a baby, or, you know, can enjoy the pleasure of seeing somebody growing. And there is something magical in what you have. And it requires probably sacrifice. Not probably, for sure. No matter the situation, a baby, not a baby, a studio, not a studio. there is sacrifice. To find yourself, to find the peace with yourself, I think it requires work. It's like you say, I think we all sacred. Everybody is sacred, but you gotta have to work on it to find it and to make it, because I think there is a lot of, we are all sacred, but we put a lot of layer on it to not see it.
Yeah.
It's training, it's baby, it's owning something, a house, work, whatever. And just, if you take all those layers like an onion, and then you find that actually less is more, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
And every day is a challenge.
Yeah, right. Every day is a challenge because that's such a moving target too. It's always, that is always, as you're saying, it's breathing and it's growing, and finding that sacred in every things is so different today than it was yesterday, and it's going to be different next week. And so, yeah, so that's, I think that's, interestingly enough, I think so much of the suffering has to do with, as you're saying, hold on there, I got a phone call. The layers and layers of like of the onion, as you were saying, it's like so much of the suffering, I think, comes from the things that, all the shoulds that we've actually put on top of what actually is. You know, all the you should feel this way, you should feel this way, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, rather than with all of those layers coming off and what actually still exists there, that's always changing and breathing and growing. If we, you know, if we were quiet enough to give ourselves the kindness to see what that is and work with what that sacredness is today, then
yeah. And also because at the end of the day, you know, you realize, like, and what if it doesn't happen? What is gonna change? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because, you know, like sometimes you're like, oh, I want to have this. That's why I know it's difficult, but I talk to some people that they are like super stressed with the work, and they don't know if they can take this. And at the end of the day, you know, especially with what happened now, when suddenly, c'est fini, everything stopped, everything froze. And what? You woke up the day after. For most of the people, of course, it has been despair, but you wake up the day after, and the day after, and life keep going. So, of course, again, with different, like, rare example that it turns different. But for most of the people, you realize that if something doesn't happen today, first of all, even though I know it's difficult to admit, there is a reason. Very, very often, at least for myself, when something doesn't happen, somehow at some point I get to know why. It takes sometimes years, and sometimes you're like, I'm gonna be old enough to find out why it didn't happen. But there is something that it for sure is that, yeah, like, it keeps going. If you still come down and take a deep breath and say, okay, I'm still here. I still have like everything I had yesterday, and I'm gonna move on from where I am now. So, you know, like, for example, I don't feel like on the pole, like, let's take an example that some of the people that follow us now knows, like some tricks, okay? There is tricks like you don't do anymore. Well, but I sleep the same, even with less injury, less pain, you know? Like, my deadlift doesn't go up. Well, it's okay, because first of all, 1,000 million people do it for me perfectly. And I can do so many other things, you know? So so it's okay.
Oh, that's so great.
And I
People
take it
who do
from
it
here.
perfectly, like, do
Come
that.
on,
That's
yes.
great.
I encourage.
We
Like,
can.
I'm like, you do it amazing. I'm gonna repost your video, and but me, my ass doesn't go up anymore in that situation. No way. But it's okay because I can do other stuff that I'm really happy and fulfill me, and it's okay. And you just gotta accept it. You know, sometimes I go back to some combo, and it's very funny. Also, some are getting I'm getting better because my understanding of the body is different, but some is like, no, no, cramp, finito. This one, it's like, okay, archive. It's okay.
Such I oh gosh, I so relate. So funny. It's amazing, after having my little one, and you have this muscle memory of that your body knows these things, and your body's just going to go in and do them, and you go up to do them, and you're like, whoa, you think you can do these things, but they're not really. It's not yesterday. it's, but
And it's not only this. I think it's not because it's not yesterday also. It's because your body gave life. So your body changed, your mind changed. So
oh
many understanding of all the little guys inside here, they were like, we almost a new guy, you know? So what you think those guys were doing, it's not the same guy now. So we're going to do different, and
yeah.
it's going to be fantastic.
And like you're saying, it's so wonderful. It's like, there's the muscle memory pathways. There's so many of my cells that understand and remember, and if you kind of go into this dream state, it'll kind of like find its way through, but then the experience of it is so drastically different, because as you're saying, like, everything has been completely renewed and rejuvenated, and it's it's a whole new uh a whole new community of organisms here than used to be, um
Exactly, exactly.
but also,
Mm-hmm.
how much joy do I get out of, like, as you're saying, I get to see my students do all of these things. They ask me to teach them something, and I say, yes, I will absolutely teach you to do that. And they say, well, how come you
Mm-hmm.
don't do that anymore? Because I don't, but you can, and I will appreciate
Mm-hmm.
that. If it's something
Absolutely. And this is fantastic. And like, the when I see like the pole community evolving and all the amazingness, no matter the style, no matter the, like, with heels, with not, with more gymnastic, with more art, with whatever. Actually, no, actually I don't like, because everything is art. With more like spinning pole or static pole, fuck yeah, it's art. Like, and it's an art that is constantly evolving, and also from evolving, but also recycling, upcycling, let's say, because I like the word upcycling. Because sometimes you see things, and I was like, oh yes, like those things, like someone did it like 10 years ago, but you do it so magically different that it's completely new, and it's a never ending story. Like, wow, every day people come up with like what two hands, two arms, two legs can do. It's fantastic. Oh my God. Yeah, so magical.
Yeah, so inspiring. It's so inspiring to just, yeah, as you're saying, to see like a lot of the new people coming into pole. Yeah, as you're saying, just upcycle these things that we remember from the past, but we're like, wow, I've never ever seen it even viewed from that angle and
Mm.
direction. How did you even? It's so beautiful and so limitless. It's wonderful to see bodies and minds just at work. As you're saying, it's
Mm.
all art. And
Mm.
speaking of, you have such a beautiful relationship and space in your life for, as like not just the teaching you do, which is also I consider art, but for the art that you make and the collaborations that you do. How has that been for you recently? What's been what?
Um,
collaborations and
Mm,
turning you on?
so during the last 2 years, um, I I did a lot of collaboration actually. So we did online photo shoot from people I did in Russia, with people in Poland, with my friend Katarzyna. We did also from a guy from the Reunion Island, and I was like hanging in my living room naked basically. And he was taking like screenshots. It was amazing. And then I did some few collaboration, like during the summertime was a bit like a little gap where we could travel again. And I participate to some TV show around Europe, which were amazing. And I really adore those collaboration. I also like start again to make in-person things. Last week, I did a collaboration with a Barcelona, because I live close to Barcelona, with a brand that is like lingerie, but they mostly work on like woman empowering. And we did a video, very beautiful, where like it was freezing cold, but so fulfilling of beautiful energy. David came with us during this photo shoot. We went for 2 days. We went first in a warehouse, and then we went close by the sea. I can't wait to share, because it was really beautiful energy, like a beautiful team of people. And no matter the video, we had such a good time, you know, such an amazing time. And then I went to Ukraine last week, and I had extra days, and I was like, you know what? I really adore the people artistry there. So I started to search for a photographer, and some friends recommend. And I saw this girl, Diana, and I contact her, and I'm like, okay, I want to book a photo shoot with you, for the experience, not only for having beautiful pictures. I just wanted to experience. And actually, she organized like we book a studio there in Ukraine, Wonder Space, which if you go to live, you have to go to the studio. It was wow experience as a studio place. I never saw such a place. And to collaborate with this 22 years old woman, so interesting. I don't know, I rarely seen, I took quite few photo shoot session, but the way she plays with the lighting and everything, I can wait for the result, mostly for the artwork she did with the lighting and everything, not just for the poses. For the playing she did with the lighting and everything, she was constantly, it was super interesting to watch her playing and to watch her working. Super, super nice experience. And I have other coming soon, one in Toulouse soon with Loriana, which I can wait, because it's been years we wanted to collaborate together. And every time I do those things, like I also did a residency a few weeks ago with a pianist, Ida, which is a virtuous pianist, and she contacted me a few years ago, and we never could make it. And finally, this time we're like, okay, let's do it. And somebody offered us to make the residency in a beautiful castle in the middle of France, where we were only us and the person who take care of the castle. And it was such like a dream, cold, but dream. Very but because this was so big, and they have no heating place, you know, like, and it was challenging, because not only to be on the pole for many hours, but also because she we choose like piece of music, so it's a 50-minute duet, so it's quite challenging physically. And also it's a piece of piano, different piece of piano that maybe are not in my like library of what I use as music normally. So they're challenging me also in my moving. And it was very interesting, like super, super interesting time. And we hope to bring this to stage one day. It was the first creative residency, absolutely magical in terms of like human exchange, artist exchange. We learn about each other a lot. Beautiful, wonderful things. I think it's just it's part of who I am. I adore to create with others. And what I adore the most, you know, even when I do a photo shoot with somebody or a project, I'm like, what is your idea? Because I have many videos and I can take video of myself if I put selfie mode in. What I'm interested is enter your world and create something with you. So make me do things, make me dress the way you want, and make me be in the cold and see what I can do in the freaking -5 and see how my body reacts to this. Because this is what is cool. This is the experience. The result, who like, okay, we can have million of beautiful picture of whatever beauty is, you know, I mean, picture that you can explore for whatever reason you need it. But the experience,
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. And
so
such a wonderful reminder, you know, because also, you know, in creating performance, it's something that's so wonderful that, yeah, if the end show wasn't even a thing, to have had the experience of creating it with the people that you've created it with, like, wow, how special. And just the nerdiness that you can find, and how different, like you're saying, how different a piece of art you create is with a different artist. I mean, you know, you're bringing what you have, but everything that you're ever going to make in some kind of collaboration, you know, you're going to create something so unique that partnership will never be. And even if you do it with the same person, that partnership and that experience still will never even be the same as the last time you collaborated, you know?
we come back to the same things all the time. Yes, it is. It is now. So be in the now and really enjoy each. That's why I always say to when I talk to some friends, whatever you do, enjoy each breath, you know, because the breath that you take now, she will never be again. So you know, and even you for about the stage, what you say when you are in the creation process, I'm sure you had the same. Sometimes you prepare something, you put that, and I'm sure many people listening to us, and then you're on stage and it's like, cha, c'est fini, and you're like, oh my god, it went so fast. Yes, but remember also the process to be there, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just been so wonderful chatting with you, and I think it's been such an important conversation for the times. And I think you're going to bring this. I think your words and your wisdom are just going to bring so much perspective and just welcome comfort to so many people, as it has me, as been so beautiful connecting with you, Marion.
Well, but Sergia, I think side note, we should have a little call for longer hours. Because here it's like of course we're a bit limited on time. Thank you so much to everybody who joined, because I saw a lot of people. I see you. I just try to focus on the conversation and the sharing with Sergia right now, but I see a lot of people like saying hello and sending like thoughts, and I see everyone, and I appreciate everyone joined today live, and I'm sure you're gonna post the thing after on LUPIT'S, so it will be able to be seen after. But yeah, like, thank you so much for this time, and I could talk with you for hours and share, and just even being just like this.
It's been so special, and just a great time for me to connect with you, beautiful friend. And I'll message you later, and we'll make sure that we get to continue our conversation.
Yeah, please have a beautiful day, and say hello to your man. I will never forget when he saved my boom boom in LA last time. You remember?
Yes.
driving the stage until freaking Pasadena. Yeah, I will always remember. And yeah, and your petite, I hope one day, or you travel to Spain and you visit us, or we travel to you guys, and we
Oh,
come to your you come to your tiny house and
oh,
see.
yes, I would love for you to meet her someday. She is just a firecracker of a soul. She's amazing. She's brilliant, and you and her would have a blast. You'd ferry it all through the yard together. I know it. All right, my dear. Send there, and thank you everyone for joining us. We did see all of your hellos and all the love that you were sending, so
Yes,
that
yes.
was really lovely.
Thank you so much.
All
Bye
right,
bye,
everyone, have a
Sergi.
beautiful week. Bye, bye, Marion. Take
Bisous.
care.
Ciao.
Bisous.
Ciao, ciao.